Move on to what is a very big game for us and for everyone in the Northern Hemisphere. Ireland v Wales.
Always a classic.
Always a classic. Wales kind of uniquely placed as a Tier 1 side who aren't actually getting a home send-off, I think I'm right in saying, in terms of...
Is that it? Yeah, South Africa, I guess.
South Africa, I guess, yeah, in terms, but that's slightly
different.
They had their
month ago.
Yeah. Slightly different, certainly in the Northern Hemisphere. Wales have had their home send off last week, and it didn't really go well. They got they picked. It was basically dictated by the fact that the squads were finalised this week. They had to pick some of the fringe players, get them all out there, and get some answers.
Resolved the Jared Evans Patchell debacle, which was
night and day,
as we knew it would be. Patchell was, as I always felt, I said it earlier in the show. If Patchell gets given the 10 shirt, he's going to rise to it. He's an excellent player, wonderful footballer, as you say, very similar to Anscombe in a lot of what he does.
Yeah,
and was beautiful when he came on.
Yeah, and really did change the game.
Brought them back into it.
Yeah. They did get a few answers as far as that in terms of finalising the squad. It didn't spell good things for their props. They got absolutely bullied, and now obviously, as we said earlier in the show, Samson Lee and Rob Evans gone, cut. Out of there.
Leon Brown too,
but that was less surprising.
Indeed.
Obviously last week we had Ireland 22, Wales 17 final score in Cardiff. It was one of those a game of two halves kind of thing. Like Ireland were pretty impressive in the first half, admittedly against a Wales side that were a bit loose in terms of what they were trying to do ball in hand. I'm thinking obviously that Stockdale score that came off turnover.
Somebody had said, I think it might have been Warren Gatland actually, but somebody I definitely heard say that they were actively trying to offload the ball a bit more, Wales. They were trying to move it a bit more and get some of that sort of 2018 brand Wales attacking play going and sort of add to their versatility as a team. And that the players were just a little bit, even going into the contact, they were focused on where they were going to offload, and there just wasn't that same impetus on winning the contact. And as it happens, Ireland had introduced a James Ryan and a Kilcoyne to the fray, and just generally were dominating that area and kind of shocked Wales, which you don't often see no matter what Wales is out there in Cardiff. So that would be something that's a little unpleasant for them, and the scrum as well would be a concern for them. But from Ireland's perspective, I thought it was very positive. I thought Ryan
much improved. How could it not be? It was always anticipated that there would be a bounce back factor from what was an absolutely shocking shellacking at the hands of England, and something that obviously Joe will want to have addressed. Like, it was always seemingly a risk in my mind. Like these warm up fixtures, we always seem to swap games with England and Wales. I think there is a prior agreement that is long standing. It means we're playing them. From Ireland's point of view, it feels like ridiculous prep for the challenge that Japan and Scotland are going to bring in a week's notice.
Not to mention the fact that they played England when England were so primed and ready, and
that's kind of the point.
It was very, very silly. But this one was a bit more real. It was nice to see some attacking plays got off.
True.
I thought the whole sequence for the opening try was everything that you would want to see out of Ireland, in the sense that it was. Wales had the ball and their attack was shut down by two colossal defensive tackles from James Ryan.
Initially from kick return he looked to go around James Ryan, but it didn't happen. Ryan made the hit and made it very physically, stopped him behind where the game line was, and then a couple of phases later another big tackle from Ryan means that they end up having to kick it away.
Yes, and then Addison claims it in the air magnificently, dances a bit, ball comes out of the breakdown, goes straight to Kilcoyne, who makes a nice little arcing inward run,
bursting through Navidi actually, which was
catching Navidi off completely off guard. It was a bit soft, but he trundled for a line break. The ball came out the other end, and Carty took an angle on Navidi again, got an inside ball off to Conway, who ran a lovely little lazy run through the gap across, weaving his way to the left hand side of the field to feed Stockdale for a try,
which is a good instinct in an Irish team.
Yes, and Joe Schmidt himself had said after the game that was called, Carty's little break and offload was called in advance by Conway, who had noticed that little spatial error in the Welsh defence. And Conway's form is great.
It's undeniable.
It's great to see the two wingers hungry and hunting for tries.
Linking up. This is good, because it's has been an area of concern from our point of view. The lack of a clinical edge in the back three.
If you're gonna play like an old school Springbok team, you need to have your Habana, Peterson, hungry wingers who are going to grab the tries when they're there. And Conway is looking like Conway was a superstar at schoolboy level. He was a superstar, and he has never quite lived up to his potential since then. And now he seems to be living up to his potential.
Yeah, he's polished every aspect of his game down at Munster. He's become pretty much a stalwart in their team. For good reason. And he's really grown in the last 4 years when you think about it in terms of his progression. And where we were kind of humming and hawing saying that like Keith Earls has obviously been a stalwart there, but he doesn't give you that grab a try when it's not on kind of factor. He goes back into context. Stockdale does grab tries out of nowhere, as we saw. You're making the point that he's the only back three player that Ireland have that is quite all black in that regard, where like as soon as that pass from Shingler went to deck and Stockdale managed to be the first one there and get the toe on it, you just knew it's like there's no other outcome from this other than a try for Jacob.
Like you can describe it as just an interception or a present, but those tries have to be taken, and there are only certain guys who can take those tries. And a lot of guys wouldn't take the try if it's just a loose ball. Some guys would dive on it, some guys would fly hack it and miss kick it, some guys just wouldn't have the pace to cover that ground. Stockdale has it all. The ball was there loose in the ground, and it was like not going to be any other outcome than an Irish try, and to have a winger who can do that is fantastic. So there were definitely positives there from Ireland's perspective. There were negatives as well. The scrum was a huge positive.
Yes, it was.
Andrew Porter covering Loosehead and demolishing Samson Lee and Leon Brown was a positive.
Was a huge positive. Tyke Furlong looking bullish off the bench, excellent too. John Ryan rock solid and set piece. Kilcoyne, obviously that whole Munster front row I thought stood up massively, which really gives you confidence, because we're such
those boys are great.
We're such a forward oriented team that we need two front row options. We need two whole front rows that can be picked.
We have it.
And we have it now.
Munster's front row, who started the game against Wales, are one of the most phenomenal scrummaging units in Europe.
They are. They put it up to Saracens.
They put it up to everybody, and despite like not weighing that much, they're excellent technical scrummagers. And it was all about Kilcoyne in the first half, but then at the very start of the second, you saw John Ryan get some lovely scrummaging off against his opposite man. I think it was Rob Evans at the time. Could be wrong about that.
But it was. It was a very encouraging performance. Obviously that engine room as well, which I suspect now, especially with the omission of Dev Toner, than that news breaking yesterday, the strongest team that we can pick has James Ryan and Ian Henderson starting in the rows. Physicality. With the game that Ireland want to bring, that has to be the case. And the fact that they've been bullied by the massive England team twice this year leads me to believe that is what they've landed on. And obviously Klein's inclusion in the squad is to bring that heft even in the background, but I still find that a little bit dubious. I would like to have the Dev option anyway, but we don't, and we'll have to come to peace with that.
We have your peace with it,
definitely. But as far as Ireland's concerned, a few very, very positive aspects. I thought Peter O'Mahony at 7 really reassured me, because Josh van der Fleer's performance in the England game was a point of real concern with obviously Dan Levy not being available.
Sean O'Brien passed it.
Sean O'Brien a bit past it, really. We needed a 7 option.
Geordie Murphy not looking good,
which is like,
and
why
now he's gone.
He's kind of rightly gone. He didn't look at the physical pace. Peter O'Mahony as an option at 7 I really do buy into. He plays very much like a 7. He's a forager, he's a disruptor.
Partnered with Tyke Byrne, that has a decent balance to it.
And
similarly, if they put Stander at blindside and Conan at 8, that could work too.
True.
Although Conan had a quiet one.
He had a quiet one, but do you know what? One thing that impressed me, like obviously his ball control at the base of the scrum was great, apart from that one instance where he really should have left it in, we would have driven over. We did end up getting the try a few phases later.
No,
but
we did not. We threw it into touch. That cost us. Conan picked and went off the base of a scrum that was driving,
but Wales fail to exit though?
We ended up tossing it into touch. We may have had a penalty advantage from the same scrum, and then eventually got a penalty try.
We did, yes. It was a very Irish, wasteful, non-clinical way. But one thing that he didn't do all game, like he did slot in at first receiver and then do the little tip-on pass, and so did Tyke Byrne. Both of them kind of failed to get their carrying game off, but neither of them died with the ball, crucially, which is a distinction with difference between him and CJ. And I do firmly believe that for this Ireland model to work, we need a bit more playmaking from number 8 in terms of just linking with the halfbacks. Making that link and transition between forward and back is important. And that was one positive that I took from that game. We were looking to do that a bit more. Caveat is that the defensive line speed in terms of their defence was nowhere near. Wales's defence was nowhere near the level that they would like to be at, because they just weren't rushing. They were granting us much more space, which in turn allowed us to get more offloads off. Like I think someone was bring the stat up, like Ireland threw as many offloads in that game as they did.
I don't think that's got everything to do with the Welsh defence. That's a mindset thing.
It does.
They're just looking for it more, which is great.
Definitely.
It is true that there'll be a truer test this week. I'm expecting Wales to try and rectify what they would have seen as a poor showing in those tight areas, the contact areas. Something they pride themselves on.
Definitely.
Don't give an inch around the fringes. That's Wales.
Make the breakdown sloppy and slow.
Make the breakdown sloppy. Attack that Irish line out. They'll be looking to achieve that scrum parity. Obviously, without Evans and Samson, you'd expect Thomas Francis to come in with Nicky Smith, and they would be looking to lock down that scrum and then attack the Irish line out, which has been so dodgy that they're just going to have to go for that area and just make everything Ireland try to do scrappy. Then that's what Wales are great at.
Yes, indeed.
It feels like it would be like a fitting climax to this whole Ireland-Wales, Joe Schmidt v Gatland tit-for-tat battle of wars of words and rugby that have been going on over the last number of years. It just feels like it would be a fitting end if they both ruined each other's home send-off. It just somehow feels like that would be a good way to sign off for them.
Possibly true.
But obviously we don't want that as Irish fans.
Yeah, indeed. I hadn't even considered that, but you're probably right. They have really, it's been a ding-dong battle for years with the pair of them, and they're good value in press conferences as well, good little foils for one another. And tactically it's produced some interesting games. Like Ireland-Wales always takes a different shape, which is very interesting to me. Like when you think back to like Ireland getting the win, I think was it 2014 where we were in Dublin, kicked the leather off the ball as Gatland himself said, and we did really like kick all possession. We had a team full of fullbacks at the time, and we were either bombing it or going long and finding a very
sharp set piece and line out maul.
Which really just helped. Not allow Wales into
Paddy
the game
Jackson
at all.
was a 10 at that game, but it didn't matter because it was all forwards.
But then the picture of it, this like obviously we've rarely seen Ireland as inept as they were in this, and as flat as they were in this Six Nations, and dealing with a Welsh team on Grand Slam rollover momentum. They got absolutely swatted aside, and we obviously one positive I'll take from that game was the lessons learned by James Ryan by getting completely outsmarted by Alan Wynne-Jones at line-out time. I actually think that's great value for that young man going into this World Cup, especially if he's now probably going to be calling the line-outs, either himself or Henderson. But it's definitely good learnings to have a wily guy like Alan Wynne kind of school him a little bit, which definitely did happen. But then when you think back to last year as well, when Wales were a bit more scarlets in feel, and Ireland really did dominate that game and dominated possession, but just took so long about scoring tries, and Wales, being the clinical side that they were, just managed to keep scoring tries and staying in it for the whole game, including the last phase. It's always a good test.
Until Stockdale gobbled up a loose ball.
It was a loose ball, but
it was a great game, you're right, and it has been truly a ding-dong battle. Wales will be looking to keep it tight, but will be looking to exert that physical dominance, and Ireland will be hoping to achieve that, to achieve an edge in that physical battle, but they must understand by now that you don't beat Wales by smashing through them in those tight areas. Well, you can keep doing it for days and years, but it's never going to quite do. You got to have a bit more to your offense. You got to move the ball about the place. I don't know if we'll see Sexton or not, but either way, it's got to be.
I would like to. I think Joe Schmidt would like to too. It's not advisable to be going into the Scotland game with no minutes. For your starting
0
10.
minutes.
Like
since the Champions Cup,
especially when you look at like Finn Russell last week was playing 70 minutes against the Georgians, like in Tbilisi. That's going to stand
in a good crack of it.
Yeah,
just because he loves playing rugby.
Indeed. Well, like Johnny Sexton is the same. He's bullish to get back, and I'm sure if he's not named, it is a sign that he's actually not fully fit, which is a concern. But all things being equal, I think he will be out there. I suspect we'll see Conor Murray as well. It's really a chance for the first string team to get themselves in order and primed and get those minutes under their belt, as well as get their home send-off. Ideally, they'll be winning the game and getting a home send-off too. But for more important, it is still performance-oriented, and they'll obviously want to escape with no injuries, although one or two may occur. Because
of all of these games that we've previewed, and they're the last send-off, we will probably, statistically speaking, see at least one
injury and people out
Cup ending injury.
I'd imagine so. I'm hopeful that it's not on our side, but I'm not all that confident to say that it won't be, because we do play an attritional game, we do play a physical tight game, and these games against Wales, especially now that we like the fact that we went over to Cardiff and won, will sting and hurt, and there's not really any chance in my mind that you'll see a Wales side start as sluggishly as they did last week, as loosely around the contact.
They'll be gunning for it. They'll be looking to do exactly what they did last time, which is just deal with everything Ireland bring physically, disrupt everything Ireland do, and pick off the scores when they come, which they're just excellent at doing. From Ireland's perspective, I think the one thing that they need to adjust in terms of how to beat Wales, I think set piece security is huge. If they can secure the line out ball and get a good maul going, that's obviously massive. Their scrum, I think, is stronger than Wales. If they can maintain that strength, that'll be huge for them. And then it's just obviously keep building on that offense, have a couple of plays in you, but varying the kicking game from the bomb, to which Liam Williams is, as he puts it, a bomb diffuser.
He is up there with the best in the world. That particular skill.
Doesn't he work on Liam Williams?
No, it doesn't. And the difference is in that game that I was citing from 2014, it was Halfpenny at fullback who was vertically challenged in that area, not the strongest in that area.
One of the things that the Welsh do, especially if you move the ball across the pitch, is their wingers will shoot up. They'll come up in the line, especially if you get like one or two passes from the breakdown. They'll come up, and that's when the opportunity is there to put the ball in behind them. And territory into that corner, low kicks, spirals, as you say, deep into the opposition corner. Get a bit of that, in advance of the 50-22 kick rule. Get a bit of those 50-22 style kicks into the corner.
Absolutely,
that's a way to play them.
It is a way to play them. It's something. You can't even cite individuals at winger. It seems to be just a trend with this Wales team that we've definitely noticed, is that no matter who the guy in the winger jersey is, their instinct is to push a little bit up, get a little bit flat, especially as the other team's going through the multi-phase, and there is space behind for probing kicks. Not so much for bombs. No, bombs just really do not pay dividends.
The more air on the ball, the worse.
They want to be low and fast and finding the space, finding grass, and then finding touch. So that is something I would like to see an area of improvement in. The box kick as well. Even like, I know the bomb is
don't love the box kick.
I don't love the box kick in this matchup, but
or with their wingers.
No, not with their wingers, but I'm just looking at Conor Murray's form, and I would like to see him get that part of his game up to speed for the sake of our exit and our just our playing our way.
I think his passing game is more important.
It is.
Speed off the base is more important.
No, I agree with that. Especially now that Marmion is not going, and he was probably our quickest scrum half option. Murray definitely needs to find some form fast, because he has not impressed me this year, to be honest. In a green jersey, or really in a red one, he's not looked himself. He's definitely it's a far cry from the year prior, where he was getting billed as the best halfback in the world and all this. This year, you really haven't seen that, and I'd have all kinds of halfbacks ahead of him based on this year's showing.
Truly, I'm inclined to agree. In terms of predictions, do you have any?
I'm gonna be optimistic and say that we're gonna snake the win. It'll be a one-score game, I think.
I pure and simple. I don't know. I would be guessing with a prediction. I think both sides are just going to want that improvement. I think it'll be curious. It'll be informed by what happens at the scrum and the line out. It'll be informed by what happens at the breakdown.
The first 20 minutes will be crucial.
It'll be informed by how teams are approaching it tactically. I don't know. I feel maybe it's just blind patriotism, but I feel like Ireland might get the edge over it. I think if our pack can be hungry enough and strong enough, then maybe they could get on top of Wales. But we haven't seen it so far, and if we do see a hungry Alan Wynne-Jones or Tipperick, and that changes things.
Definitely changes things. Tipperick's one I'm fearful of. His spoiling game. Well, obviously Alan Wynne as well, but Tipperick's very fast as well. He can shut. If we're a little bit laborious in our ball in the hand and just a bit slow and plodding in terms of our multi-phase, he's a guy who will punish us for it, definitely. And rightly, because we deserve to be punished for it. I don't want to see us be sluggish and slow.
But that's just killer. Like, if you do see typical slow, round the corner Ireland doing their best Georgian impression, Wales will destroy them. So that is definitely a factor. But I'm going to say, in blind patriotism, as you often do,
Ireland by 40 points.
I'm just going to say that we're not going to see that, and Ireland are going to edge the game and go into the World Cup with a bit of confidence.
There's precedent for that, with the exception of the Wales game last week, but that was exceptional as well because of the nature of when the squads are named. That was the only instance that we saw a tier 1 team pick a hodgepodge 15 for their home fixture, and that was the reason why. This time I think it'll be a hit out for both close to their strongest team, and with these warm-up games what we've tended to see is that the home team edges it just in those fixtures. So I'm gonna stick with that as a rationale and say Ireland by 4.
Fair enough. We're going to move on. Just before Thanks for watching the Overlap Rugby podcast. If you enjoyed that video, please like down below and subscribe for more videos. And please enter the comments section to join our conversation. Thanks.